Yeah. This is very touching, and I don't know. I think that Tata has said so many very, very interesting things. What is the job description of a fund? I wonder if anybody can give a job description of a fund. But I think that it's a question that we have to re-examine and make sure if it doesn't have an answer, then let us ask ourselves, what are we doing to support these funds? Because we are their subjects. I think that that's a very, very wonderful question that leaves us with lots and lots of thoughts. The host. The host, please.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks so much. I think Comfort had some great observations after His Royal Highness just gave us, we were like in a class. What do you think about that, Comfort?
It's just powerful, and I'm so elated because I don't know where to start from. He was so balanced. So I'll just speak, bear with me. So it was his presentation was so powerful and balanced. And I just want to pick first on the fact that he acknowledges the fact that titles are increasing, and rightly so, because we are growing as in population and as a people. However, emphasis on background check, that is very important, because I believe that if every Tata comes from that perspective, background check, who are you due this and stuff, I think it would erase the idea of proliferation. It would just be honors and what is supposed to be. And then touching on females as well, even though we would still need to hear a bit more. I think that was something I really do appreciate, because I would rather have a woman that we honor, we know what she is doing and want to serve in their kingdom, to do what they think they can do as maybe as conferred to them by the kingdom, rather than giving titles outside. Because I've heard people say, oh, for titles in it makes it look like women are different and stuff. I'm not here to fight men and women stuff. I'm just trying to appreciate the fact that the fund was quite aware of that, and his presentation was quite powerful. And I think this is going somewhere. It's actually beginning to clear the doubts, the clouds, as for me, Ike put it earlier on. And I'm just very excited, hoping that he would tarry again to answer a few questions. And I think much more is yet to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before we get to Tashi Nelson to have 1 or 2 points in line with the entire conference, we do have someone who had indicated before that should like to react. This is a primary reaction. It's not like it's time for question answers yet, but we have Mashi Mary Awudu, whom we can listen to while waiting to get the artists get ready. We give you 4 minutes, Mashi. Just let us know exactly how you feel about this whole issue of conferring titles to the Wimbum people, irrespective of whether the men or women. Mashi, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank all the people in the house. I am Mashi Maria Wudu, you've heard so. Let's take, I listened to all what was being said. I listened to the questioning and then listened to how people are feeling that there's so much of the titles being given to more people are having titles until a research has been made for the number of title holders in the US. And very soon the number of title holders in a village, and then the Wimbum people at large. Yes, the fund has said it. And Tashe Bashi said it. Time for me, Joe Bashi said it. And time for me, Tent said it too. Remember, our people, the population has grown larger than what we used to have. And then our funds are no more staying only in the village and in the palaces. I grew up in Tabiken, and before our last fund who passed, I saw him 2 times as a young girl. The fund of Njab, I saw him once when he was passing to go to the court, whatever in Bia. Now, in the US, they invite funds, and the convention in Europe too invited a fund. So funds have started going across. They have started crossing the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. And then the Wimbum people are everywhere. And if these Wimbum people have become, we have increased in population, and then the Wimbum people are everywhere, and we are no more into those tribal wars, we should try to encourage and then congratulate our funds, because they keep seeing the good-hearted people everywhere they're visiting, and everywhere. Since you people are no more in the villages, maybe that's another way of making people come back to the village. So
Manju,
yes. Yes.
No, go ahead, ma'am. I think it's
Okay. Well, you may say, you can call me Manjo, you can call me Mashe. I married these titles, yes, because they were given to me by funds on different times. I was a Manjo from about 10 years. They used to carry me but on the shoulder. Most of the Wimbum people who were eyewitnesses can still remember. And I became Manjo Donga, you know when. And my fund, the funds know. These funds should not be questioned. If we are questioning the funds now, or questioning why many titles are out now, we should also check ourselves, the pressure we give to them. When I was made a Manjo at 10 years, what pressure could I have given to a fund to make me a Manjo? So you people, some of you just like these titles because you want, and then, well, you married them. Most people married the titles, but most of the time where our problem should lie is that when these titles are being given to us or to some of us, they forget the other major part of it, to teach them how to go about it. I think the fund of Njirong has been trying to tell you people how to cherish or to maintain or to handle your titles. Most of the informees, some of them today, especially the most recent ones, it is like they give them these titles and they forget to even go back to the roots and ask for what it entails.
Because one more minute, Mashe, one more minute, please. Yeah.
Okay, let me just round it up. Okay, book B. Okay, book we. Achi book yo tufan. Retera ngachi bonbon. And tuabe ko book B. B ma ko bi mi gi ko bu gochi abe ko book wo wi. Adi si lane book nimte menaka si ako bane si wewe. Mwechika bane emeriti ibituri bengangituri igashi le bonbon. Beri si, beri atawi. Beri mfomi, beri she, beri biwewe, beri mamjo, beri mayawi, beri biwewe. Mela mene mbaru mwe abachuni jana minji chijinje mwe kete agimoka igika wole kubambaru banjingwe. Mwe ake fiaji mwe kontaji chuchi fiaji mwe ake te fiaji mwe moka kikupchiyo beri si.
Oh goodness, are you there? All right.
Mashe àlàyé ni sí. Mashe àlàyé ni ni jobe abanesi the question answer session. Te me ba ku dupsi mu yumo sina yo mu chepsi ke siga ni. Ne ro dupsi na Mashe when 10 years ale pressure ka wa biomba magora biamba magorga no bane wem tur any pressure aduye tata mo ne if I were title ga mwambaga so but aga ba luni se ne bio you got boom la bagor from so bwana use it ne easy kisi bugu kisi and we need to understand the context within which we work so simo a question si me dubsi question akusa answer.
Yeah, that was a rhetorical one so that we can move ahead with questions.
Exactly, that's right. So let's
yeah.
move ahead. Thank you very much, Peter. Yeah. Do we have the question answer session open?
Yes, it is open already. We just the only thing, one of the things we would like to emphasize on 3 minutes for each speaker. If you have a contribution, please, if you exceed 3 minutes, we'll be compelled to probably interrupt you. So let's be a little more precise and straight to the point. If it's a question, either of the panelists can always answer that. So I think with the permission of Comfort and Tashi Tawe, who will continue with this aspect. Yeah, we see one hand up already.
Yeah, maybe I should just chip in. Maybe I should just chip in to say that if an issue has been discussed, please let us not belabor the point. Let us not come back to it. Let us not say like this man said. Let us go ahead and ask the question or answer the questions or present our concerns so that we can gain on time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we have 2 hands raised now, and another quick appeal. If we can stay on the topic at hand, we would learn really much. Let's not digress, please. Thank you. So first of all, here I'll take the question from Pan Dimanjong because he raised his hand first. So I'm asking you to unmute now. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm kind of making an observation more or less. And my observation is going to my fellow title holders. Yeah, there is this drumbeat that we keep insisting on, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the titles that we have. The issue of always saying that funds cannot be questioned. It's not an issue of questioning funds. If people are just asking to know, they are not questioning funds. And if they are questioning funds in an effort to know, there is nothing out of place in that. And I would want us to kind of understand that most of us here have done history, and we know that during the age of enlightenment, the idea of funds being divine, having the divine rights of king, was discovered to be one of the reasons that allowed for their kingdoms to be backward looking. So they discarded of that. And then they made it possible for funds to be questioned. And because funds were being questioned, then their kingdoms seem to have progressed. So we cannot be selling the idea of, oh, if you want to ask to know, then you are challenging the funds, or you're questioning. I mean, well, I don't know the difference between questioning and asking to know, you know, as it is. I was the one that presented your Vox Pop for this presentation. And then in that Vox Pop, I think I did capture the fact that if we look at ourselves through time, then we are going to find this difference. Yes, now we have all acknowledged here that there are more titles now being given than they used to be given back in history. And then if we are saying that the titles are being given because of the things that we now do, those things used to be done before. And then when we say funds cannot be questioned, it's as good as saying that the things that we visualize are not really there. They are there. If there are 10 for me in front of me, I'm seeing 10 for me in front of me. Nobody can dispute that. Then if there are more men qualifying now for titles than are women, it's easy for men to see that. And then they can ask questions that, okay, we are now in the same place, wrestling together, either as teachers, as professionals, and whatever. So if you are reserving everything to men in terms of their own endeavor, what of the women? And I think that good men should be saying that the women too need to be recognized. They need to be encouraged. And to say that the reason for titles is to encourage others is to say that we need to know what the titles are for so that people know what it is that they should be working on in order to be able to earn the titles as we see them. So I'm pleading with my fellow titles. It looks like we have something that we are trying to protect that may be sinister or something. And that's why we keep using the fact that funds cannot be questioned. Funds cannot be questioned. No, funds can be questioned in terms of knowing what it is that they are doing and why they are doing it in good faith. Because if we as subjects are supposed to act in a particular way to gain something, a title, then we should be able to know what it is that we should be doing and how we should be doing it in order to be able to let us earn that title. To come again and then say, no, when the funds do whatever, we cannot question them, is kind of to say they just do it out of the goodness of their whatever. The funds themselves are acknowledged.
Thank you.
Somebody just came here and said the funds in their meeting have acknowledged that going forward they have to do this. So they themselves recognize that there was something wrong somewhere. That's why they're trying to make the correction. And then we just listen to the fund of Njirong say here what some of the deficiencies have been. So in essence, the funds themselves realize that they can make errors like other human beings can make errors.
Very well. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so
we appreciate your
my fellow title holders, please let us stop the idea of saying that when people ask honest questions, oh, you want to brand it as they are questioning for. No, that's not it. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
I appreciate that because I was also worried on the emphasis of not questioning the fund. So touching on that was really important. On connecting, before we call the next speaker, just an observation. I know she's raising her hand and the name goes like Queen Mother. I don't know if there's something that needs recognition. It's that royalty is just normal. I'm not sure, but we get the next speaker on connecting.
No, well, the Queen Mother has her hand raised and probably now she's off camera. It would be good to have her on and it would be good to know who she is. And probably we'll give you the floor, Queen Mother. Tell us who you are and what your concern is. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I am Rose. Hello.
Yeah, we're listening. 5 and 5.
Okay. Thank you so much. I am called Rose Nzungi. I am from Cameroon in Douala. The name Queen Mother is just an appreciation. It's not that I'm from the palace. It's just a name given to me to appreciate work done. So I'm sorry, my phone is having some issues. I will just speak without the camera, but I will come back to it with the course of time. So I'm having 3 things to say it vividly. The first thing is we talk on not questioning the fund. For me, I'm thinking that the manner at which some of us we address our funds, it is not correct. That is why they are talking of questioning the fund. Because if I come to my fund and I have a suggestion to give to him, or I have something to talk with him, I humble myself, I speak with all dignity, I think my fund will receive me and they will not say that it is because I am questioning the fund. Then my question is this: if somebody was given a title and it happens that the title was retried, and for how long will they give back the title to that person? And if it happens that the person has maybe humble himself or herself and come back after recognizing his or her error and come back and say, I am sorry for what I did. My father, forgive me. Can the fund still give back the title? That's my question. Then I'm coming with a suggestion and a proposal that looking at the fact that our funds are there, they are in the palaces, and they don't have things to eat. They have just, maybe somebody was working, they pick him from the town and he's not staying in the village. I propose that all those title holders, they should be levied. They should give them an amount that they should be paying, so they can help to support the funds and their winter in all the palaces. Thank you so much. I don't have much to say. I may come back later. I'm done.
Okay, I think I recognize Queen Mother now. Thank you. Thank you very much, Queen Mother Njengi of Njiningo. All right. Let maybe any of the speakers, if you think that you can address her issue. She raised one question: can titles given to holders be revoked, and how long would it take for the title that has to be given back to the title holder? How long would it take? So I think we should go straight and answer if we have any of us who was the main speaker.
Thank you so much, Tashi. I think the issue of titles being revoked and the question of questioning our funds and the rest have come up repeatedly. So, and it came to part of my presentation. I think I should be able to take this. I'll start by Queen Mother's question. Can a title be revoked and for how long and what takes? And I also want to link it with another question that was dropped in the chat room. What takes, or what is the situation that can get to a title being revoked? The first thing is that those titles, when you have a title in the Wimbum community, it means you're an example. If you're an example and you do things that are not exemplary, they can be revoked. And I remember so many of those titles being revoked, even just recently. If you have a title and you are found committing adultery, and I mean something that is proven, not rumored. If you go out in the public and you mess up yourself all the time with a title, and people know what I mean by messing up themselves, there are many ways, or just go up and challenge some traditional authorities in an illegal manner. Those are some of those things that can lead to a title either being suspended or being revoked. I remember in one of those villages, I should be Wat or Taku or something, a number of people, traditional titles were revoked, some were suspended. And you have to go back to our fathers. If it is suspended within a given period, you go back, meet our fathers, fulfill the conditions that have been given you. Because when they are revoking a title, they either give a period or the reasons why they're revoking it. And if you go and meet them and fulfill the conditions, they can give a time frame to observe and see if they can reinstate your title. So it depends on the situation. The question of our funds, constant expression of our funds being unquestionable is something which we cannot avoid as Wumbo people. Asking to know is something that nobody can refuse. Our funds have many channels you can ask to know. Even just asking to know how a Informe title can be obtained, how a Tashi title is obtained, how a Tanto title can be obtained. You have the right to go and ask our funds. As Queen Mother said, as Mama Maya and Mashe and Mamanju, Mary Awudu said, those things are going to be there. The population is increasing. Take the population of Wimbum people in Douala now. Go to Bonaberi and count how many Wimbum people are there, and try to get the number of titles that are within that community. If you were to lead by grouping a number of people to a title, they will not be able to rule the community because the title will be fewer than the people who are there. So we used to have one death in Tabike, and all our villages from Mbot, Nkame, Binka, Binswa, they will stop going to the farm because somebody died in Tabike. Even someone they never knew. This is how it used to obtain because there were not many people. And that was something so mysterious. Today, it's just like the titles. One village used to have 2, 3 for me. How many people were there by then? And how many food lodges were there?
Yeah,
Today
done for me. I think we've got enough response for the question. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So we would like to give the floor to who has a hand up. I don't know.
It was supposed
Walter?
to be the doctor. No, the next person before I called for our Queen Mother to speak was actually supposed to be Dr. Richard. So it's your turn now.
Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah, I didn't see his hand up. I'm sorry, doctor. I'm sorry, doctor.
It's all right.
Thank you very much. I just want to say just a few things about titles and those who hold them. I think the fund said elaborately about that. But what I want to say is that when a fund gives you a title, it's for you to also help him in administration. It's kind of associating you to their administration. And if we get titles and we still look back to the fund to do certain things, I think we are missing the point. The funds want our culture to be taken to wherever. We should not lose this culture. And one way of doing it, the fund cannot be everywhere at the same time. It's giving titles to people so that they continue to protect and promote that culture so that it doesn't die. That's why we have people out here who can continue to, be the link between our culture and our villages. I think we should take that role very jealously, like the fund said. And one of the things that the fund raised, which I have been trying to get people to understand, is that the fund, the Maya, and some of these people who are in the villages, they are like public servants of the Wimbo people, and a public servant has to be paid. In the past, we used to do it, but today we have abandoned our palaces, and the funds, like the fund said, we go celebrate him when he's crowned, and then we go celebrate a new one when the new one comes. We have to be intentional. We have to even use our development associations to say, look, let the fund and those who rode out in the palace be a project of its own. As development communities, we are supposed to take that as a project to work to support them in the work they do, because we have decided to abandon our accountability to them, yet we hold them to accountability to us. So let's be able to do that. And then we'll see that some of these things we're talking about, they will just disappear without somebody, forcing them out. So thank you very much. I think the topic was really great. And I appreciate, everybody who spoke on this topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Richard. Uncle Nelson, I think he just answered a question I had in mind, because I was going to ask, what next when you're awarded the title? Is just to flaunt it out there, or what do you do? But then he rightly said, you should use that in administrations, like the king extended his tentacles because he cannot be an octopus. Thank you for that response.
Exactly.
So on the next, yes, come on.
Yeah, next, I think we have I don't know.
I can see the screen. If you don't mind, I'll let you know. We have Walters.
Yeah,
that's the only name I see. Yes, I see
yeah,
Walters.
Walters of the foundation.
All right, welcome. Are you there, Brother Walters?
He's not mute. He's not unmuted.
Okay, I'm just asking you to unmute now. If you are there, just click to unmute. I've asked you to unmute. So while we are waiting for him,
if he's not on seat, then we'll move to the next hand that is up. Dr. Francis, I think, Wengo. Francis.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity to speak. Yeah, I'm thinking in terms of the future on what we can do with these titles and so on, and also some solutions as to the kind of issues that we have with our funds, for example. As Dr. Ndiaye said, I am thinking of some kind of project which can be very specific. Like, for example, we used to provide animals to the palace. We go hunt, and then there is a hunting day for the king and so, or the chief. And then we don't do that anymore. So what if we could do some micro projects, like raise some domestic animals for each founder, for example? That will be like a kind of a support for the at the palace. Okay, well, time for me was talking. He mentioned the fact that some titles were being acquired through hunting exhibitions, and then this also made me to think of the fact that we have lost a lot. Like the animals we used to have, we have all extinct them, and then as well as destroyed the environment, like cutting down forests for many other uses and also planting others. So I'm thinking that the next maybe kind of things that the town formies or the chiefs, or I mean the whoever title holders could be doing, it could be like try to restore some of those things, like replant the trees that used to help for our environment so that we could have good water. And also like
I'm sorry, I'm really sorry about the rude interjection here. I appreciate, I know you're giving very useful information, but I think we should rather be asking or answering questions, staying strict to the title of the motivation of awarding titles in Mbumland, so that we stay on topic, if that's all right. Thank you.
Yes, yeah, I'm thinking the motivation could be like to bring back our environment to where it used to be. Or what more, why grow other animals, the same animals that were extinct? Why not look for ways? Like the motivation would be like for you to get those titles now, instead of go hunting the animals now, you should think now of going to make it happen again, because we have lost some of those things. So that is how my contribution about the motivation.
Yeah, point taken, doctor. Thank you very much for your contribution. I think next we have Tanfomi Ike. Tanfomi Ike, your hand has been up for a while. Please, let's hear from you again. Thank you. Unmute, please. Unmute.
Unmute, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for giving me another opportunity to chip in a little. I think most of the questions that we have, they have been addressed, and we have come to this portion. I want to continue from where Tanfomin Dimanjong ended. It is very difficult to be honest in these days, because people speak, we speak. But I have understood that Tanfomin Dimanjong in several circumstances. I contend with him because he is very honest. And when he talks about the fact that funds are questioned or not questioned, he's actually addressing a very serious issue. The thing is that it appears like the position of the funds have given them that authority where they can completely just dictate and not listen to the people who brought them to that position of funding, of fundship. It is very difficult because titles are supposed to be given by the recommendation of the NGA, who are the people. The fund has to follow the norms. And there are some norms the fund has to follow. The fund just doesn't have to come from the blue and just do things. So if the traditional rulers are keeping their part of the traditions, and then the elites or the traditionalists are keeping their part of the tradition, everything will click together. It is very difficult to just say, oh, when the fund says this, it is finished. It's supposed to be questioned. The only problem is the manner of questioning in terms of our tradition. We do not question the phone in the public, but you can question the phone in the private and be able to receive answers. And if the phone does errors, that correction should be done, and it should be done such that the people can understand that this was made and this is corrected. Look, when the phone says that, oh, there was a certain decision which he was not in support of, it means that some funds had taken a decision which one fund did not support. And traditionalists only go to, they go to enforce what the funds have said or what the funds have decided. They don't go to enforce what the funds have not decided. And when a traditionalist goes to enforce what the funds have decided, then one fund will say, I did not support that thing, so it is not going to be like me.
Yeah, 1 more minute, time for me.
So what we are looking at is something that we need dialogue as traditionalists with the funds. We need to sit down and talk about action. And as in terms of all Wimbum people, notwithstanding that the fact that, not disregarding the fact that every village is autonomous, we need something like Wimbum people to sit down and talk about it. All the funds together with the elites, with the traditionalists.
So that is the technology they're using to.
We already understand that we need moderation, because all of these things have now been misinterpreted, and then those misinterpretation can lead to any unforeseen actions. We also need education, because we know that of the funds do not know all, the traditionalists do not know all, the elites do not know all.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So we are looking for a scenario where we can inform each other, organize each other, and we will be one Wimbum together. So that nobody will be doing something that is negative and another person doing something that is positive somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Over to you, Comfort.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, time for me, Ike. I think I agree with you, because I think that agreed that we are growing. However, like if I got you well, if basic criteria are put in place to follow in awarding titles, I think it's going to solve a lot of problems, and things could still be done in a uniform manner, although villages are autonomous, as we hear. So the next hand we have raised is Labu Shilam. We just want to appeal, guys. Sorry, guys, it's not a good one here. We try as much as possible not to repeat what has been said and stay on topic. Thank you. Labu, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. Comfort. Again, I would say it here because I think a better introduction of myself is Mashe Sheila Awudu. And mine is more of an observation, because when Dr. Ibong made a presentation, he said some people prefer to be called Mashes. It is not about preference. So I want to correct that. It is not about preference. It's the title that was conferred. It was given to me by a fund. And I'm limbo. So if my fund has not told me that this title has been revoked, and I'm saying this in the presence of our father here, the fund of Njirong, who still refers to me as Mashe. So why would that for me, Ike and Dr. Ibom, why would they keep calling me Mangiri or Ngogungiri? Or as he made his presentation, he did not even talk about my title. He said some people prefer. I mean, if you're collecting data, you should collect data. You should not talk about, oh, there's only one Mangiri in the US and some people prefer to be called Mashe. It's not about me preferring. It's about what the fund of Njab conferred upon me. So This is the conflict that we've been having. Some people think they're informees and they can correct the funds on what titles they should give their subjects. And I don't think it's correct. So if you are informee, you're not a fund. If you are a Tache, you're not a fund. If I'm a Mache, I'm not a fund.
Mache Sheila.
Yeah.
Thanks very much,
Mache Sheila.
Mache
Yes.
Sheila. Sorry, Komi and Tashi, I'm just coming in just a little bit of intersection here. Thanks very much. I think it's not the polemics that we are about, but I think it's just a question of different opinions and different ways of thinking. People think differently, people act and react differently, and we are privileged to have very resource persons here, especially our fund. Can we give our fund 1 minute to probably just say one or two things about what the president, the Marsha Sheila just said, with all honor. His Royal Highness, please. Just wanted to know if His Royal Highness is still with us. Maybe to say one or two things in line with this.
Somebody says,
while waiting for him, I just want to point to say I have a clarification to make on that particular point according to what the decision that was taken. So when the fund speaks,
Dan, for me, just 1 minute. We just think that maybe there is the panelists, and maybe until the panelists would grant the.
No, I'm not talking. I was just saying that I will be available.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. That's fine. Yeah. So please go ahead. Thank you.
Apparently, the king has left. I've seen a message appear that he's not on the panel now. But I just have an appeal. As much as I can see, I get my sister Sheila's passion. If we can make this general, it will apply to every Mbum woman or Mbum title holder and not personal cases. So because we're just here to learn, it might have affected you directly, but I think that should have been a coincidence. I would say I'm not sure, but then let's handle it from a general perspective and your problem will still be sorted, I believe. So this thing is going to go public. I want us to just be careful. Thank you. So Uncle Nelson, please. If he's not here, I will not want to keep people waiting. So I think I can see John Shea. That's the only name I see. So I'll call it, I see it. John Shea, if you're ready, you're welcome, please.
I can also see Mangiri Ying, Dr. Lilian, hand up for some time now, probably after John Shea. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, John Shea is unmuted, so he can go
on. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I have 3 questions and I would put them in line so those who are trying to answer them so they can know the order. My number 1 question is why, is there any situation where the funds, multiple funds on Mbum can give the same title at the same time to one person and that person will be informee? Let's, for example, informee Mbum. That's my number 1 question. And then number 2, I will reference my question to Tam Fomi Ango. He said these titles are given due to merit. And he cited some examples that I never knew in my life, and they sounded very important to me. He said these titles, for example, he cited an example like Lagam is somebody who can sing. But today, when you go to the Tam Fomis are singing and they don't know how to sing and they are not singers. So they hold the title of Tam Fomi, Tangwang, and Talagam, who is the singer. Is this being fair when they are awarding this kind of titles? Is it being fair that they're giving them to the wrong person? Is it some kind of corruption or not? That's my question number 2. Question number 3. Why are titles not given to young people, even if they deserve? I will cite this example to to Tam for me, Joe Bashi. He said that these titles are given because some people deserve. And I accept, I see with him, because his title was given because of his football technique and skills and the way he took the Wimbledon people abroad, and he deserved it. But I see some, I don't know what they deserved, because if you play football like he did and went out of the country, play in the national team, it's like you brought a tiger home. He deserved that. So most of this time for me, Tangwang, Tadis, I have done my investigation. I don't know what they actually deserve, how they're selling the cultures.
I think.
So that's my third question.
Please just give room for answers to be given. You've asked 3 questions. Please give the.
No, I'm not. Excuse me, Tashi. I'm not answering the questions. I've not had the minutes others had and talk, but it's okay. I'm timing myself.
This is the questions answer session. If you've asked 3
Tashi,
questions,
I got you. I've not been given the opportunity. I was timing myself. I talked for 2 minutes, but others spoke for 4 minutes. That's okay. That's okay. That's the way it is. It's okay.
Right. So
yeah, I'm sorry that.
Sorry about that, Tasha. Before we get to an attempt to answer the John Shea's questions, we want to apologize if he did not, speak for the rest of the time. And if he doesn't have any reservation, I still plead with the moderators to allow 2 minutes for John Shea to complete his statements. Thank you.
All right. Okunesa, what do you think?
Okay. So can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, the moderators and the host, for giving me that opportunity to finish what I was trying to say, though it's not much. So my suggestion would have been that with these titles, I don't know if our fund is still here. We should give them to those who deserve it, those who sell our culture. I don't want to separate the culture and tradition. Some people think culture would end only with tradition. Some people put some aspect of culture and best culture on the tradition. And these titles now are rewarded based only on that fact of tradition. So I'm pleading and suggesting that let these titles be awarded to people who actually deserve it. If we don't have animals today to go for hunting, let the lagam be somebody who can sing. Let the ngandong be somebody that can lead. We cannot take a term for me who does not know anything about them for us, or who is abusing them folk and abusing members of them folk, or go about insulting people. We cannot take such people to be term for me. With that kind of term for me, somebody like me, a public figure like me, I will never respect that kind of a term for me. Or ta manjong, or ta she, or ta ngwang, or ta gwe. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Dr. John Shea. We appreciate you. You are a public figure and you don't make yourself public in such an occasion. It's a big start for us. We would really like to see you. So I think we would like a few people, Tashe Ike, Tashe Jobashi, to go on the question. He asked a few questions, and whoever is ready to chip in with response.
You keep making the same mistake. They are all time for me. Please just correct yourself right away.
If they could write them down, if they could add them on the screen, it's quite difficult to keep track. I really do apologize. I don't mean to disrespect, please. I'm sorry about that.
If it is time for somebody knows me as time for me, Ike.
There were two
Yes,
questions. The
I
first one
do.
was
That one I know.
It's reading from the screen so you can understand why.
and there were two questions. There were three questions, and I think the first one was for time for me and go. I think he can go first.
Right. Thank you.
You have to unmute time for me and go. Okay.
I am muted. I am muted. Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me,
Yes,
please?
we can hear you.
Yeah, Tafon, we are hearing you.
Yes, can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Tafon, we are
Okay.
hearing you.
We can hear you.
John Shea, can you repeat the question again? I want to answer.
Okay.
Please.
My first question was, giving the same title, can multiple funds of Wimbum come together as a group and give the same title to the same individual at the same time? And then number two was what you talked about, what people used to deserve when they go for hunting. Like a Lagam was a singer, somebody who can animate and do something like that. I'm asking why today they are not following that criteria, even though they are not animals, but they are still singers in place today. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. On the question of whether funds can, more than one fund can confer a title on somebody at the same time.
An individual,
it
and
is
all
not
of
like
them
that.
at the same spot, and then that
an
one would be the
individual.
greater for me.
No, it's not like that. They can be more than one fund present, but there's one fund who would confer, and the other ones will witness. One fund is as good as 6 funds. However, here's what I have observed: that they can a fund or a folk can confer a title on you, and another fund can confer the same title, put his hand on you, put a feather on you. It doesn't mean that you're going to wear 2 feathers. Another fund can confer, he wants to put his hand on you. I have witnessed that. I witnessed somebody who was conferred a for me title. Then the fund of Kungi put his hand on him and said, I went for me, we then go. The fund of Kambe did the same, the fund of Binshwa did the same, and I witnessed the one of Kambe and Binshwa. I was not at the one of Kungi. I witnessed the one in full of more because I'm from more. So there were 5 funds. So sometimes it would be like, oh, for me call you for me call what you are, you go to that. But he wears only one. He wore, he's of late now. He wore only one. And then in conversations, we'll be like, oh, he go to ta. For me. It happens like that. But title. More for me than any other person got. It doesn't mean so. For me, they say in the military, all of your bambo hierarchy. For me to be under 2
more minutes.
Yes, and if we were if your village went to war and somebody returned with a human head, right? He was the first. The second will be the second. That's how it is. Okay, so it doesn't mean that when there are more than one form, you are more informed than others. That's not true. It is not. What's the other question again, please?
Okay, the second question was was about what Time for Me and God said that they used to go for hunting, and then they used to award the titles. Maybe like he quoted Lagam. That Lagam was an animator or a singer, somebody who can sing and then who can animate. So why has that certain changed today that they're giving them to those who can't even vomit? They can't even do animate. They can't even sing. Why has that changed?
Yeah, I think I have to come in a little bit, though I know very little or nothing
Well,
about.
what I know is that.
Sorry, Dan from Indiango. I just want to come in a little bit. This question has been taken note of, and we will definitely provide answers to individuals, especially that I am privileged to have the contact of Mr. Our artist, John Shea, whom I refer to intimately like Ray. That's right. So I will definitely make sure that answers that will be provided by the panelists will be channeled to him personally.
We're losing you.
So now we will, with the permission of our main panelists, our main moderators, will like to hear from Mangiri Yengi Lilian, and thereafter we will be listening to one of our artists whom we love very much. But before that, maybe Comfort would like to present the artist. He is called Mukula. There is one very interesting track we'll be listening to in a couple of minutes. Mangiri Yengi, over to you for 4 minutes. Thank you.
I'd like to start by thanking His Royal Highness. I'd like to thank all the speakers and the moderators and all those who have asked questions, because before coming to this session, I had a lot of questions. I had a lot of reservations. I'm out of town. That's why I'm not on video. Actually just carved in some time to come and attend this because it's very important to me particularly. And that is one of the things that I want to do. I want to thank everybody who has spoken in support of the women title holders. I'd like to just reiterate that a lot of the women who have titles got those titles because of their deeds. Because if you ask them, they can point to what they did to earn those titles. So titles can be retrospective for deeds already done, or they can be prospective, as time for me, Dr. Richard D said, that you can then help the fund in administration, and maybe it's an aspirational title to help you to be more involved in your community. I think one of the things that Fonganjo said, which I would like to really applaud him for, is that you had women that earned these titles because of what they had done to contribute to either their village or to the community at large. And then suddenly, because of something that happened, or maybe because of this proliferation of titles, or because a few of the women were perceived to be in direct confrontation or whatever with the male, it was unanimously decided that somehow those deeds that they had done to earn those titles were no longer valid, and that those titles were going to be rescinded. And this was actually very demoralizing to women that had earned these titles. And I want to quote something that Tamfo Mindi Angus said. In the old days, when titles were awarded for prowess in the hunting grounds, women did not go hunting. Their contributions were more at home, so they did not have the opportunities to go out and bring the lions or whatever. Now, if for me, Ango again mentioned about people, somebody, the first person to bring a PhD or a degree or whatever, and if that was so important to their village that they felt that this was worthy of a title, because titles are now honorary, you know, and they were given those titles. I don't think anybody can come and challenge that. And I also want to bring to Mashe Sheila about the fact that they said, oh, it should be Mangiri, Mashe, Lingogu, out of you. The fund that awarded that title, if they said you were a Mashe or Mangiri or what have you, again, it's incumbent upon them to come and issue a clarification or tell them that you were actually called this. I don't think anybody outside can do that. I just want to say again that I really applaud all the speakers. For me, Ango really painted it so vividly, and Fongan just said it. Our environment is changing. We're evolving. What used to be considered victorious on the battleground, the battleground has shifted, it's different. And the opportunities have now been open to all genders, let me say both genders, before anybody asks me what the third gender is. It's been offered to both genders.
so they can bring in the head of a leopard or what have you, just like the men used to do. So please, these are honorary titles. I would implore the male title holders or whoever to ask. Most women, they will tell you what they did to earn those titles, as compared to some of the men that if you ask them what they did, they may not be able to say it. That is where my point is, that please, if a fund felt it worthy of a female to give them a title, let's respect that. Nobody can sit somewhere in a committee and take that away from them. I want to thank everybody who presented today. I have learned a lot. There were questions that I had that I asked in the background because I didn't think I was going to be able to attend this session today. Those questions were answered via the presentations that were done today. And I just want to thank the moderators, the presenters, the speakers, and everybody that asked any question. And Barry say, oh, Mama Judonga, me yongsu we see. What I'm going to back out with that way, Barry way.
Right. We're great to have
which one?
One of our greatest, our very seasoned moderators. We thought we'll miss you today, but we are privileged to have you once again. And with the permission of our main moderators, Komi and Tashi Tawe, I would like to introduce one very special person who impacts the life of music in our country, in our culture, and many people like to know that German, that's how it is called, I suppose, is one of the tracks we actually enjoy so much. But today we'll be getting something different. But before we get to Mukula with the latest hits, which apparently everyone may have listened to, I would like you to see this, just see what I've written on here. Okay, great. There is a name like this, Mange Justice Phil. Many people don't know this name, I suppose. It's strange, but the name we know all is Mukula. So I am not sure that someone would propose differently. When I told Mukula, there is a conference coming on titles and our funds and beneficiaries. Would you do us the favor to have us listen to your track, especially the newest track in town or in the country or in the world, which is called Ngungala. He called me Lingwe. I'm not reading Lingwe, it's just there is nothing you will ask me I will not do. I felt something in my heart that that's someone who likes his culture. And I think that if you see that name, and for anyone who has a phone, there is something they call Momo. We are not here to ask people to encourage artists, no. But very exceptional, this has just come, it's just been laid in my mind just now. It just came to mind that there's something we can do. Why not? We can encourage our own. If you have this name, I will put a number there as well. We will listen to our song. Someone that I am inviting, we could have Europe, we could have Canada, we could have US. If you have your convention, which is coming very soon, I want to see him there. Oh, sorry, I'm not in the US, I'm sorry about that. But I want to see him, or I want to see people like him perform. So we enjoy our music. So basically, okay, so that is the number. Thank you. Sorry, please mute for those who are not unmuted. Otherwise, Mukula's number will be put there right now. And I have the sole privilege to
the co-host can meet them, please. The co-host can meet them. The people are talking.
Yeah, we're trying to.
Okay, thank you. So we'll be inviting Mukula if he's ready. Let's know if it's ready. We'll invite Mukula right now and listen to the greatest sound of today, which is Ngungala. And then at the end of Ngungala, we'll ask him just one question. Mukula, over to you. You have the seat. you will 5-on-5.
Network me Cameroon ababa bad. Network me Cameroon ababa bad. Me get your suite abba fit and famina face in I'm sorry in a late. Tapsin Ibagor. I'm very grateful to be here. I go by name Mukola MKL. I'm a proud Mukola with good reasons. I'm a Mungwembo. I'm Bumegin Nanyor and George. I'm a Mungwembo. Very Ibagor. Okay.
Bale, will you answer with the floor is yours.
With that, yeah, we perform gala. We Lily. Gongmela.
Can we hear him? I can't.
Yeah, he needs the volume up.
Network.
Yeah, the network is really bad.
Very bad, God.
Yeah, very see Mukula. Thank you so much. EU meaning would I enjoy and but the network by any mission and when see about enjoy God see but network will ring the network fan get dami God see so would I appreciate very much. Very we see very we make watching kapane see you gambum see you very conscious of Buchine, yisi artists and bovis yoshinki kula even a $10, a 10,000, a 1,000, a 2,000, it is never small. Please, if you have the name and the number, send anything you want to him. It does not, it is never small. And then at this time, before we go to a roundtable conclusive statements by the speakers, there is one very keen listener called Dr. Mfomi Sule. Dr. Mfomi Sule, 2 minutes, over to you. What do you think about this whole discussion concerning conferring titles by our fonts to subjects? Dr. Mfomi, over to you.
Yeah, sorry, can you hear me? Hello?
We can hear you 5 on 5. Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry, I was off camera. So let me see if I can get my camera back on. Yeah, I think that most of what we had as questions have already been answered. So as Tam for me, Jobashi mentioned at some point, there is probably no point in maybe re-emphasizing the point. As I mentioned in one of the recorded messages, si atwer mu buan discuss angong wimbumi aka atwer buan awa bi we aka di we bi jeje we o ku we mo go ba the self responsibility ab jeje ben me kwa ne si ka ne tua bi we kwa sana ambo ma she awudo abalana ngong isi ku so e ba wa si adjust fong abuana na adjust wa aring ne visit ta obi ku di ambo walking and di kwa sen title na iwa obi adjust ban je ke te ibo fit ambo ngong si change fong na le so me kwa ne sia ye ni bun sen si aka ye ni wa aku kwa se fong ne sia ku ye adjustment si bi gi ni si nyor kera visip tau gu yu se yu si la aku dengan bobi adjust fong te si ngong bo ba ye ni te visip tai to bo ku chon ngira mom chon tom ze be kwa me kwa ne item o ze si ne kata si emphasize enough ka you ne bibi sal ze bara te ngwe wo bo yu you ne bi sort of title ana o ka te si present if the title holders are not presenting themselves in a way that represent that office, then people will have questions. And the title holders to have to view themselves as an arm of the funds rather than the critics of the funds. So oka forward taban o forward taban abo support yo bi abo support yo nto abo gite bi dukuntam abo basi bi abi So Buana where you engulf in the title. So all those things have to be incorporated so that the titles have the meaning and the power that they used to have. Metodi you got an lasika. So iyuna si ambosi di na si gudun terms and we find na banjin dog mitsu si nelo gite dasu si bika njo si yuba bi arobane si bodun si culture kun terms. So beri si ambo we have mufi in meme la anakile mu audio recording ambo saka title si you biozopson you got one jokele me kwane si akonip ansan si beri si may you very happy in a part of the whole process. I could young si tambo bava I could sung si ambo si bisi subtitle and ambo si bisi ye ambo wo si handle buha a visit ta. And I could young service believe him in that see me kwa nesi a yet ne boons and say berry.
Hey, Dr. Sulim, for me, over to you, my comfort and Tashi Tawe.
Yes, I think it's time for us to open up and give our main speakers at least a few minutes of last words so that we can exactly do a kind of self-evaluation and see how far we've come and how we can move forward. So I don't know, maybe I would suggest that we go in the same order we started so that...
That's very correct. Maybe 4 minutes will be good.
Uncle Nelson and Uncle P, I think Ma Maria Wood had her hand raised for a couple of minutes. I'm not sure if she really wanted to say something or should we move on? I'm not sure because.
All right. Yeah, maybe we can accord Mama 2 minutes, but if she goes more than 2 minutes, we'll be compelled.
Very mebanabo, very moderator vi, very all bichi, all land bunyem beana wewe ala min dabha wewe. Maro and lane ambon la chai ko mbikina bane yumo iyo. And yumo gaba bane abi fienjo. Mela mene title holders. Come for me, come share, come mamjo, come map share. Kabi zengiri. Te futinje wamnyori. Fia ye yuje iche koni. Mbuyu kele. Eno viko biako. Puvichi jeshi. Ashi nesibi. Ashi bukbi. Anika bawa ngambu niana. Ari ngangachi mamimbu ni. Te tata wi. Obi kerfia enjo wup. Ambombi asena. Very une elites. Bab time for me. Bab tashe. Akuti puga. Agoye puga. Aki chimfu. Alane minkwa minken. Minku ba minken wa bane vi vutembe wawang. Ne vi atu social media le chi sungambo wiki chip chipu. E pua na ring buka awere we chip chigoye. Minkwa minken. Aki chimfu vu sung serimbeka. Putini si mindabi. Ker fianjo. Ker puti mena. Tibi yambo bongna. Beri si. Yu iki fuambo ifuna bane mu yumo yunjo. An mu yunjo anasi ake achi yeji. Si kupshi a wimbomi. Very very moderator, very biabavune topic cha. Membe va penaka, meme avumbontini, very vitine. And even Jerry, yes,
very mom, very, yeah, you know.
Yeah, so yes, I suggested that we go in the same order we started. So probably, as for at least the preludes, no, we go straight to the speakers, right?
Yeah, we should go straight to the speakers. But there's
okay, the speaker would like to start with. We'd like to start with Dr. Sorry, Tamfomi Bashi.
Exactly.
Please, Tamfomi Bashi.
Tamfomi Bashi takes the mic. Tamfomi Bashi, before you take the mic, I will plead with you. Say we get one of our very great and keen listener whose hand had been up for the past 35 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, we gave him time, but he had a problem unmuting. Now I see his hand up.
Yeah, so Walters, please, can you just say a word before we get the round table from our speakers? Thank you.
Walter.
Not,
he has some challenges.
He apparently, and he just indicated that he wants to say something. So I think he still has a challenge of unmuting. So maybe we
can the host not unmute him?
Yeah, maybe the host should unmute. That's right.
You can unmute if you can request that he unmute, but if he doesn't unmute, he cannot go.
Yeah, if he doesn't.
Let me see.
Yeah, I think he still has a challenge.
Yeah, he has a challenge of All right, sorry about that. Moderators, please go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, we just gave the floor to Dr. Sorry, come for me, Bashi. I don't know why I prefer Dr. to come.
You'll get used to it, Tashi. You'll get used to it. And
okay,
thank you so much. I would want to start by appreciating everyone who is here. And you remember before my presentation, I regretted the fact that our funds are not here. And I don't know how such a discussion can be channeled to our funds because they need to hear this. And this is the only way we can, oh God, this constant interruption. So they will need to hear this, and if they were to hear this, that's another way of getting our message to our funds. Before I go into any conclusion, I want to first of all clarify the issue of the marché and the decision that was taken by our funds. Except people didn't read it well, or maybe I have some misunderstanding. They didn't cancel the marches that were awarded before that time because the law doesn't go retrospective. The law doesn't go back to cancel things that took place already. But they canceled it going forward after a long debate to look at the origins and the functions of the marché and the way it was going. They stopped further awarding of marches, but they didn't cancel what was going on. And I think if that is clarified, if we understand this way, then we're not going to say whether we accepted the marché or we didn't accept the cancellation, and that is clear. I won't say much on that, but I would prefer people to go and read that particular article before they come out and make statements that don't reflect the article by the funds. It's the same like the issue we've just heard one of these participants in the funds meeting saying that some rules have been put in place for to control the proliferation of the titles. So the titles might be regularized in a way going forward, which we are also going to wait for the article produced by the fund. And I want to conclude by saying that it's true. The titles are growing many. We said we cannot question our funds. It doesn't mean that we cannot criticize our fund. There are channels, there are ways to do it. But you can ask questions to know to our funds, even in public, but you cannot criticize them in public. But there are channels to criticize them. A certain question came up, especially from my brother and the person I personally crowned the king of Wimbo music. I call him the king, John Ari. In fact, some of those titles, I don't know, even a Taram, he was a Laram, he was supposed to have been a Laram. Unfortunately, I don't give titles. So we're just saying that there are some people in our community who deserve it, but like children who are like orphans, they cry and nobody hears them. But there are those who come from nowhere and get some of those titles. Now that the rules have been put in place, we are sure that they are going to be regularized and the proliferation of titles would be controlled. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Time for me, Joe Bashi. Thank you very much. We would move to the next speaker, who was time for me, Ndiango. Please, can you just round up so that we conclude on this? Unmute, please. Unmute.
Somebody should unmute himself.
Yeah, you need to unmute yourself, Time for me, Ndiango. Just unmute. Just click on unmute. That's fine. Yeah.
I've just asked you to unmute so you can click on it now. I've asked you to unmute. Time for me, Diango.
Oh. He is speaking. You have to
He
unmute.
seems to be speaking.
We cannot hear you.
We can't hear you.
I have just asked you to unmute now, so you need to respond. So click on
Go
unmute.
to the microphone. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, now he is down. Yeah.
Am I unmuted now? Okay, I can see it myself. Okay, so here's my point. My understanding was that our funds wanted a way of empowering women. You know, Mache, if somebody is not Mache, if you say that somebody is not Mache, but you want to call her Mangiri, what is your analysis? Oh my God. Can you hear me? Something's happening.
Yes,
we can hear you.
We can hear you. It's just that
We're
somebody.
hearing you.
Please, someone can. You mute those people talking. Those people are unmuted. That is, they are the ones interrupting. When you're talking and someone does that, it disturbs you. So he thinks that he's not being heard.
Okay. Thank you very much. When I looked at the titles for women, I understood that this was. I'm a cultural conservative, but I understood that this would be a way of empowering women and elevating them. I saw a title of Mache. I have seen how there was a pushback that Mache should be that Mangiri, but we have Tashe and we have Tangiri. Now, why is it that Mache would not be a title and Mangiri is an acceptable title? Here is what I want to say. The funds should look into it carefully. They have not revoked any title yet, and they should choose who would be the spokesperson for the funds. Because I cannot take upon myself to be the spokesperson for the funds. Nobody should. And if somebody has to be the spokesperson for the funds, it would more likely be a Tashe. I yield.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dan, for me. Thank you. We got you, and you were very clear on that. That was quite smart. Well, I don't know if Dan for me 10 is still around. He was moving. He was busy when he came on. He told us he was out of town. So I've been wondering whether he's available. If he's there, please, can you just round up? He doesn't seem to be around, but there are hands up.
Yeah, but before the hands up, please, we have the phone who just came in back. Please, we'll have the honor to have the phone. Just give us a round up, please. Yes, Royal Highness, over to you. So we just, I think we were informed that His Royal Highness is on seat. And so if we can have 4 minutes round up from His Royal Highness, that's going to be fine.
Mbararai, 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 mbararai. Ngwenche fie, ngwenche fie, ngwenche fie. Tehe.
Right. So otherwise, he should be unavoidably not present. If Walters is there as well, if Walters is available before I rehand the microphone to the moderators, Walters, you're welcome.
Definitely, Walters won't be able to. But if he had a concern, I'm sure if he knows he has a problem, he should have left a text so that we could read out his concern and
Exactly. And so
address
we
it.
do have also two other hands up. We have Dr. Fabian and Time for Me EK.
Yes, here, shareholder.
Dr. Fabian, have a couple of minutes with permission of moderators, please.
Time for Me EK is ready. Maybe he should just go on.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm very ready. Look, this has gone down very well as a discussion issue and a learning scenario. I love that. We have examined that we really need dialogue. We need to sit down and talk about issues. The funds who are the custodians of our traditions, we need to sit down and talk, have an understanding so that we can go on together. We need education because the funds do not exhaustively know, traditionalists do not exhaustively know. We also need moderation because titles are given according to our customs, not only at the whims of every person or every traditional ruler. So titles are given by our customs, following our customs. Now, the issue of marché, if you do not know, there is a document that controls that. There's a document that controls that, and that document was reached on by WIFO, Mbumland Funds Union. It means that all Mbumland funds together came together and reached a decision concerning resolution over marché. If you have that document, you will have it. If you need it, you will have it. And that document is the one that moderates whether there is somebody is called Masho or Mangiri or Mawat. And titles that were modified or revoked or done what with, they are all in that document. Traditionalists do not follow what they think. Traditionalists follow what the fathers say. And what the fathers say is what the traditionalists will go on and enforce. So if you want to be clarified about Mashe or Mangiri or Mawat, you will refer to that document. Any fund that was not in the meeting of the funds of Mbumland had the responsibility of reaching out to whoever they gave the title to inform them that the title has been modified or changed. This is clear and honesty.
For me, that's not true because another Time for Me already spoke about it and said, moving forward, why are we always having problems with titles conferred?
Okay.
Well, that was a bit of interruption there, Labu. Can you just be patient, sweetheart? We'll come to this.
Patient.
The king is here. Patient, he will speak and you leave satisfied. Just be patient, please.
Just be patient, Labu. I'm not talking on behalf of myself. I'm talking on the behalf of the fact that the Mbumland funds united together, decided, issued a document, and they modified certain titles, and they issued certain things. They talked about not only Marché, they talked about other titles. They talked about other societies. Many are in that document. Now, if you want that document, you will have it. And me, as a traditional title holder, I only follow that document. I do not follow anybody. I only follow that document so that I follow my fathers in everything I do. Now, in everything I do, if the father say, don't do this, I will not even do it. That is how I operate as a traditionalist. So whatever thing, information is very, very important. When you get it, it is good. Now, when Joe Bashi said, when Time for Me, Joe Bashi said that titles were not abolished. Yeah, that was true. titles were not abolished. Titles were modified, and only the names were modified. The actual portfolio of the title wasn't modified. The names of the titles were modified by the WIFO. Now, when it comes to this, I only follow a document that has been sent down. And if somebody wants that, we will have it. But I do not care whether you are called Marshall or Mangiri or whatever. I only try to follow what the fathers say.
Yeah,
and that is
Therefore, you can't say that. You can't say whatever.
Yes. So this is what I'm just saying. I'm just saying that the titles were given down by our funds as a united body of Mbum. Remember that the question I asked was the autonomy of the palaces or autonomy of the funds in their villages. Once any fund has authority to do whatever they do in their villages, they can modify, they can add, they can subtract any title they want. So when it comes to the general Mbum public, we follow. Well, I looked at the WIFO document, and I'm trying to follow the WIFO document as a traditionalist.
All right, thank you so much, Dan. For me, I will just avail myself as we have our father in the house, and we are gradually wrapping up with this day's discussion. It's been also basically we would like our father to give us a roundup, and from the roundup, we will put it for another date, do our findings about titrology, let me put it that way in quotes, and maybe come back some other day. So please, if our father is okay with that, we'd like him to say what?
All right. Sorry, I understand you are calling for me. I have some surprise guest, one of our senior elite, who came in last night from Cameroon. So I've been struggling to put a few things left and right. But I want to thank you so much for this forum. I think it is a learning exercise. It is like also an reinforcing exercise, because every day we learn. Every day our society evolves and things are changing. So I want to thank you so much for the opportunity that was given to me. With regards to the conclusion from Tampom Ike, it is not like if a phone was not present at the meeting. The resolutions were taken at that meeting in BA. One of the resolutions was that the years should get married. If you ask yourself how many funds have allowed their year to get married, you do not have an answer. So even after the BA resolutions, there's still a lot of controversies, because the same funds who took those decisions, they still have marches in their palaces. None of them has changed the title from Marche to Mangir or Mag, whatever. So I'm just saying that we don't need to make this a controversy. That document is not a Bible. That cannot be challenged. That document came out. There are a lot of things there that we are adjusting. So I'm just saying that if we have to change the title, why only target the women? There are a lot of men who are carrying titles that they don't even deserve. The fund did not address that. So I'm just saying that it is true there's a document, but that document, I doubt the implementation, because the funds who took those decisions, they are not implementing them in their policies. The women who already constituted themselves in Yaoundé, I think there's a Marches meeting in Yaoundé. I saw them. they are still challenging this. The appellation of Mangiri or Man, whatever. So is there a reason, was there a reason for the funds to target only women? There was no reason. And why are we, so what I'm trying to say is that our society is evolving. If we say it is foreign, that Mache is foreign to Mbum, there's a lot that is foreign. The Nju came from Fumba. Are we going to reject that? The Mfu came from from Bamum. Are we going to reject that? The Wanmabu came from So. Are we going to reject that? The issue of Kibai or whatever, Shufa, those are also appellations that we have adopted. So I'm just saying that, well, this is not an argument, but I'm not just saying, I'm saying that when we take decisions that we cannot enforce, it doesn't make sense. Because none of the policies has been able to enforce what Tamfome Ike is trying to say here. Because those people who were in BA, I see maches in their policies. I hear them addressing them as maches. So what are we saying here? Let's look at things that will make sense, will help us to go ahead, rather than trying to look down or be so sexist and look down on our women, some of them who are even much more powerful, and they do things that some men cannot even do or are not doing. So, Mr. Kila, me yon sisi, alane ambosido ahead. I mean, and then we are going to get there.
Yeah, Royal Highness.
Uncle P, this is a serious appeal here, please. After the Royal Highness. If Labu is still here, I really plead with everybody, bear with me with this. She is a young person in keeping of a title. And I think that if she's passionate in knowing what the difference is, we expect that she wants to live up to expectations as requested. So Labu, has your question been answered by the king and the rest of the panelists? If not, what do you want? 1 second, straight to the point. Labu, are you there?
Thank you, Komi. Yes, my question has been answered, and we've all heard the fun.
You know,
I'm just appealing to our informees and all these men who would keep confronting me with the title that my father, the Fon of Njab, gave me, presence of the Fon of Jirong. Please, if you would not call me Mache, you can call me Sheila. Do not call me Mangiri.
Sheila, that's enough. Thank you. Your question has been answered, and all these men was not a good one. Let's just let's keep emotions aside so that we get what we wanted to get from here. Thank you. I'm happy your query has been addressed. Thank you, Uncle P. Over.
She's my man for me.
Don't bring another one.
Yeah, so thank you so much, the moderators, for this wonderful job done. I feel that this is a second session should be carried out sometime to come. Probably if we do our findings as well, like people who love their country, their tradition, their culture, and who have the interest of their culture in mind, then we are called upon to carry out findings around this title, this titrology as well, and how conferring titles and what it involves. And then we come back to this forum sometime to come. I guess that we do have the contact of many through the different fora, and we can always readdress this. We're privileged to have our father on board, and it's a singular pleasure to know that he addresses the things that touch our hearts, our minds, and our village, and we think that it's something so great. Once again, I want to thank all of those who made it a point of duty to be on board. I want to thank those who presented the prelude I'm looking here at Dr. Fabian Ibon. I'm looking at here at Stand For Me EK. I want to thank all the panelists who've done a great job, all participants on board, and then the crew. I said thank you. I want to thank Ma Shengiri as well, because I didn't know we were going to have a presence here. We missed you on the moderate, the crew, but you were present. So thank you again. And then before we meet the next time, probably on this topic, further research or another topic, I would like to say today has been another day. We've learned a lot. I have, and I'll have to go on, stop recording right now. The recordings will definitely go public. It's going to be in the iCloud library, which the Wimbledon people are working on. It's a great project on that. So we say thank you so much. And at this time, the conference is declared closed.
Very.
Too short. No, 3 hours. 3 hours.
Is not 3 hours is not short.
We want one full day. We want a full day.
No, there is time for us to discuss.
Okay, bye.
Where's
if
Rose?
you want to stay back and let's continue, stay back.
This is one of the few occasions I see 3 hours being very short.
I'm waving from Nigeria.
I'm starting my own session right now. If you want to stay back,
no time for maybe like fine one should not listen. Wow, Jalingo.
Next one we want ban jam so. Banga Nkube Yeni.
Dr. Joba, she good to see you.
Hey, young lady. You cannot say you are a move, yeah. Who you call yourself? This people have to change that terminology.
We are going to
Mukulakini wesi ambo tia misine bima goro yushisi no obi kutuso 1000 awo inane nkila yuka ntenjo
Belofo Siagakuchi oh click me YouTube channel you mean now subscribe more, that goes a long way as well. See somebody and you want for
and then secondly, you the sound here ni kake you na mentor
what you put the sound from your end.
My suggestion I beg moderator yibi next time the sound bar produced from our computers and then they just become.
That is
because
right.
No matter what you do, if he produces the sound from the room, it will not sound well.
But time for me the chance on la yuka. Time for me the chance on la yuka the whole session. I don't miss it. It's supposed to la in terms of the fact.
The short time to go and
it's supposed to la in terms of the fact.
Mega short time if meeting and me and
Yeah,
for me.
in terms of lefe.
Mr. Kila. We're only artists over now. Obi mini we're only my Dallas 2025 convention. You learn the means ngungala wewe ngungala
the problem see my through you ne.
Yes, so good job now.
Through you ne. Okay la lamba no gi on time. Kabane ya be see what the invitation nika by the end of this month ka long fee, so it's not going to be possible. So
July is not far.
Doesn't Hero, Connie, all those artists, Amukula, you can't ring the loom shaking. You guys will just get mad. That sorry, make any publicity come back. Sorry, Mukula. Sorry.
Okay. Make publicity get better cookie.
Publicity guy. I give over any
promotion. You promote by Mukula. I mean, you wrong and promote you sing. I mean, I can't know publicity.
I'm telling you.
Mukula tapsi.
Listen, I'm new.
All right, bana yetina sibi kitati anongela.
Where you
Asante.
Thank you.